Bad movie drinking game. 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 Bad movie drinking game.
In 1938, the forces of evil unleashed the world's most powerful villain. In 1943, the United States of America created its own champion of liberty. 1990, 50 years later, the ultimate battle for justice is about to begin.
Welcome to another episode of Bad Movie Drinking Game, the show where we watch a bad movie and invent a drinking game so you can enjoy the film at its maximum potential. I've got our good friends Sam and Marcus, and Mr. Captain America himself, Hunter. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, it's a good man, sir. Guess what movie we're watching?
What movie?
Captain America.
Shit.
What were you?
Step
the
up
good
to
one?
the streets.
We'll get there. We'll get there. That's right. We're doing not Captain America that you may know, but the Captain America
Red Brown?
No.
You mean the one from the 1970s?
Gone too soon.
Unfortunately, no.
Nope. We're doing the masterpiece, Albert Pune's 1990.
Captain America.
Bringing comic books to the screen. Sort of.
Well, bringing comic books to the screen just long enough for people to see why comic books shouldn't be brought to the screen for another 10 years.
Yeah. This was like a check-in. Like, is it done yet?
No.
Let's wait and let's see if we can film some people fighting on the Statue of Liberty. Let's put that back in the oven.
You remain a poor choice.
That's right, 1990s Captain America. If you didn't know, they made one. The same guy who made Alien from LA and Brain Smasher, A Love Story, made this movie, Albert Pune.
And Jean-Claude Van Damme's early classic, Cyborg.
He made a lot of movies about cyborgs.
Yeah,
He-
surprisingly.
If a movie is not a recognizable property and it doesn't have Kathy Ireland in it, it's probably a movie about cyborgs. if he directed it. I'm excited about this. Eddie's Soldier, if you want to, if you want to.
All right.
Don't show your secret identity to anyone.
Whoops.
Yeah, Captain America is going to do that a lot in this
He
film.
takes his mask off every 5 minutes because God forbid that the guy who wrote Catch in Their Eyes son should not get his FaceTime.
Yes, this movie stars Matt Salinger, the son of reclusive J.D. Salinger. How crazy is that? Why don't you know this? That's why we're giving this to you. Guys,
I can give you at least one reason why you don't know it.
Because it's
Because it's fucking phased.
He's got a weird face. He's got a handsome, symmetrical face, but it looks like sunken in and like abused. Like a truck hit it or something.
Don't do drugs, kids.
it's about 70% jaw.
This is really, if you're going to watch a bad Captain America movie, don't watch one where he has to just muscle his way through an army of dogs. Watch one where they at least put some machine guns and kind of a Red Skull.
Kind of.
With a little bit of Ned Beatty.
Yeah.
You need, hey, if the Superman series taught us anything, you need Ned Beatty to sell your films. So
Was that the purpose of putting Ned Beatty? He's like, well, he was in Superman. Superman did well, and we're pretty sure Ned Beatty was the reason for that.
he's like a talisman. He's
Okay.
good luck. He's good luck.
Well, originally the scripts called for there to be banjo music throughout, and then they realized they couldn't get banjo. They said, well, let's get the next best thing.
Both of these theories make perfect sense.
We've come up with a few rules for you to enjoy this film at its best. Sam, why don't you go ahead and get us started off?
Basically, anytime Captain America gets shot. Take a drink.
The doctor who invents the super serum in this film, Dr. Vincelli, she had a diary, and it becomes the MacGuffin in this film, but it has a constant reminder through dialogue, Dr. Vincelli's diary, Dr. Vincelli's diary. Anytime someone says Dr. Vincelli's diary,
Vasselli's diary.
take a drink.
Whenever there is on-screen text, which is usually really awful quality, whether it be subtitles or just letting you know where we're being relocated for the scene, take a drink.
Captain America has a tendency to take his mask off a lot. Every time that he does, regardless of who's around or, secret identities, take a drink.
Captain America throws his shield a lot, as he is wont to do. And it's meant to boomerang, but that's really hard to film. So anytime Captain America throws his shield and it either looks terrible when it comes back, or it just cuts and it's randomly in his hand again, take a drink.
Excuse me, sir.
I'll call for help.
So everybody, get your Captain America shields ready.
You're gonna need them.
To deflect the awful action scenes in this film. You don't look directly into the film, it will hurt. Sit back, relax, set your babblefish to Italian gibberish, and enjoy the film Captain America.
I'm not bailing out on Captain America. Let's go.
Salty, folks!
Why did they start kicking it much sooner than this? The interchangeable voice. Man, Jack Palance has looked better.
Oh, I'm feeling so sick. I don't know how I'm gonna be able to get away with it.
Such a dick.
Produced in Yugoslavia.
Now it all makes sense.
And that was the story of Captain America.
That was a story.
Bullshit.
Alright, we've had 3 origin movies.
Yeah, technically.
Yeah.
And
One of them got it right. And
This
it took
was
how
not
many
the
years?
best.
No, not even close.
In a very concrete, like, if you write it on paper and don't feel the way that it feels, like, this one kind of gets it right. It gets, like, it's like, no, he's
in a wrong kind of way, it's perfect.
I don't feel the way it feels.
yeah. No, the first movie of the new series, the Chris Evans movie, is like the first 15 minutes of this movie. So if you were to take out all the dramatic points, everything,
or him succeeding even remotely.
or doing anything heroic,
Him being cured of an actual, like, problem.
yeah,
You know, as opposed to a limp.
yeah, he was getting
Although,
it
in
out
all
okay.
fairness,
He did start with
In
a
all
mild
fairness,
limp.
he didn't have
overcame that.
polio in the new one. He was just small.
Yeah.
That's true. He was.
Well,
very
they didn't
tiny.
specifically list polio, but they said he has had or does have every ailment in the book. So possibly also polio, and possibly also gonorrhea. So.
Holy mackerel.
Okay, he is such an unheroic coward. Like the first movie really of the new series really establishes that Captain America. Here's a guy who's got more balls than he has ability, and they give him the ability, and he is an unstoppable, punching, awesome action hero machine. And then in this movie, it's like, he passed a test. He's our guy, and they don't ever explain what
He's got polio. Let's get him.
They really emphasize that this is good for people with polio.
Colonel Lewis. Where did you say that launch site was?
And then he fails his only mission. His only mission is to stop the Red Skull from launching a rocket into the White House. He does stop the rocket.
Shows up, gets his ass handed to him by Red Skull, and then strapped to said rocket that's launched at the White House.
Well, to be fair, he does kind of disarm Red Skull for a while.
You mean dishand?
He doesn't. Red Skull does that to himself.
Oh, that's
so
some
he's
cold
a
shit
huge
there.
failure.
He grabs Red Skull's hand like, I gotcha. Red Skull goes, no you don't, and cuts his own fucking hand off.
He missed.
Never matters, though.
I love the questionable abilities of photography. Like, can a child in an unlit room with a crappy 1940s camera take a picture of somebody strapped to a rocket as it hurtles towards them?
If you time it right. And you get the f-stop. It's all about the f-stop.
And then the physics of kicking a rocket until it changes
I kicked
trajectory
the side
in
of the rocket
midair.
hard enough. It redirected me to Alaska from Washington, D.C.
I love that he only thought to do that until he, like, right before he got to the White House. Like, I guess I'm just going to ride this rocket and see what happens. I wonder what the target is. Maybe it's not too bad. Maybe it's just like an empty warehouse. Oh, no, it's the White House. I better start kicking. Is anybody disturbed by the fact that the president gets more of a backstory than Steve Rogers does in this film?
Our president is a hero. Our superhero's a coward.
No, but we get a whole backstory about the president. He's a little boy who sees Captain America heel kick the missile out of the way and fly.
In the most impossible way you could imagine.
He twisted his supple body. But he's a president who has an environmental agenda, which is a bold thing, I guess, but not a stylist though. He wears sports coats and jeans in the Oval Office. It's very unpresidential.
Very Dennis Miller.
But the president in this movie is a really more of a fleshed out character than Captain America.
He breaks himself out of prison.
He steals sulfuric acid in a smart move. He gets out of shackles much better than Captain America does. He's stuck to a goddamn missile the whole time.
The president was also willing to sacrifice himself to keep the enemy from brainwashing him.
He tries to commit suicide. That's amazing.
It's over. You really need me for your little plan, don't you? Of course. Then you can't win. No.
So let's also address the fact, let's wrap up his unheroism by the fact that the climax of the film, he has to re-tag team with re-fight against his old nemesis, Red Skull, who's really more of a pink with some weird blue veins skull. He looks like a weird dick. He looks like a weird dick that's been left out in the sun too long or something. Like,
he's a very angular, veiny penis with slick black hair.
God, yes, he has the corporate slick back hair look of every baddie in a movie.
He's Terry Silver.
He's got to fight this guy, but it's never really pointed out that Captain America is still, for all intents and purposes, like a 25-year-old dude. But the Red Skull is like a 65 to 70-year-old dude.
65 to 70 years old.
Somewhere in there.
Even though he's also a super soldier, Model 1.
Still perfectly capable of pulling off a perfect roundhouse.
I guess I should give it points for continuity, but I love that Captain America's suit is never once repaired.
No,
like it gets
trashed, horrible.
It gets torn up in Germany, and then later on, and then when he finally puts it back on again, it's still fucked up.
Yeah.
It's just rubber with a bunch of holes on the side.
I don't know if that was continuity so much as like they only had enough for the one suit, and then just like, screw it. Oh, those rubber ears are expensive.
I'm not gonna blow it this time.
When they made this movie, the costume would chafe Matt Salinger's ears that were supposed to poke out as Captain America's costume is. So the solution was to just let it cover his ears and then put big rubber ears on the outside. And it's not that noticeable, but once you notice it, you can't stop seeing it. It's everywhere.
He's got Alfred E. Newman ears in certain shots.
Alright, that being said, like, as much as the costume is, it leaves a little bit to be desired, but I appreciate that they went with like a really close comic book interpretation of the costume, and at times he does look like, you know, imposing in the silhouette and everything. I'm just like, hey, all right.
As long
That's
as you can't clearly see his face.
His face is weird. We'll get.
He's got derp face.
Something that was a kid. I watched this and the '70s, the Reb Brown Captain America.
We are both tragedies.
And that's something that always bothered me about the Reb Brown Captain America, because he did not ever look like Captain America. He wears a goddamn motorcycle helmet for most of the movie.
And this bizarre onesie.
This is like a weird artifact of time, because it's certainly a victim of it, but this is, if you watch any comic book movie other than the Salkin's Superman and to some degree the Batman movie from '89, before this era, anytime someone approached a comic book movie as, look, we're in Hollywood. We know how stories are told. Don't tell us how to create your characters. Your piddly little scratch magazines. We'll tell you how to do that. And they always shit all over the characters as if they were worthless. Why are you adapting something that you have no respect in? Like, if you don't have any respect in it, don't do it. That's fine.
I don't want to see Superman in that fucking suit.
Exactly. If you've ever seen Kevin Smith tell the story about trying to make that movie for John Peters, it's crazy. And now we know the complete folly with that, because we get mediocre X-Men movies that started off like they were kind of cutting edge at the time, but mediocre X-Men movies where everybody's got to have like long hair and dumb like jackets and stuff, and everybody's like, the best movie that's been made about comic books at this point is the Avengers, and everybody's dressed basically like they dressed in the movie. Captain America's wearing a ridiculous suit that he shouldn't be running around this thing, and it looks great. Thor's got those dumb 9 bracket bullets that he's got buried into his chest. What do they do? I don't know.
Guy's wearing a cape in downtown New York, suckers.
Yeah, it's great. We don't need to address it. We don't need to have a Dr. Benzetti made this weird fireproof outfit for you. I don't know, whatever. We don't need that throwaway line to justify it. They're superheroes. We get the concept. Let's just enjoy it.
Thanks.
All right, guys. I think by all conventional standards, this is not a great film. I think we can all agree on that. But imagine a parallel universe where there is an Academy Award category that this won in. What category would have to exist for Captain America, directed by Albert Pune, to win an Academy Award? Sam?
I would have to say my award would be for best intergenerational combat. As we established early on that Captain America is, by being frozen, he's relatively 40 or 50 years younger than Red Skull.
Sure, yeah.
So he's essentially beating up an elderly man, regardless of how super he may be. We have the president, who's clearly about 60-something. He's fighting a henchman that's a good 40 years younger than him. Yeah. And then we actually have Captain America's old girlfriend getting killed by henchmen that are about 40 or so years younger than her. So it's an odd... I don't know too many other movies that would do that.
Marcus, what Academy Award would have to exist in your universe?
If there are a means to award consecutive car thefts by feigned car sickness, then it would have to go to Captain America, because that seems to be his one and only tactic that ever actually works.
Captain, are you okay? You hold it. Don't leave me out here!
He's doing it to Ned Beatty of all people.
Yeah.
He can't fucking catch you.
All right, Hunter, your Academy Award for Captain America.
My Academy Award for Captain America would be best use of fake ears ever.
I wonder if that's ever been asked of a department of makeup. Can you give us more ears on this suit?
I mean, that's a pretty dubious suit, like with the ears that are just like these giant rubber like protrusions. And it's like, can you make those look as natural as possible? And you know what? Every once in a while, they fool you. So kudos to the lady who designed the one outfit he wears ever in the film that isn't like, pleated.
I would have to say that this film deserves the Academy Award for best stuntman in a somersault position. Because Captain America's he does two things in this film. He throws his shield, and he will trick a henchman by doing a jumping flip in front of him. And it dazes every henchman he does it in front of. What is happening? And then he immediately is there and punches him. Final thoughts, guys. What do you think? Would you recommend this movie to fans of bad cinema?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, fans of bad cinema, absolutely.
I would absolutely recommend this, especially if you really want to like the new Captain America, watch this one first, and then when you see the step up, you're like, oh, thank you.
Well, this has been a lot of fun. I say cheers to Mr. Albert Pune, cheers to Mr. Menahem Golan, and to Matt Salinger, wherever you are, not on film, but, you know, this has been a really good experience. Hunter, we can find you where in the future? You have a job already, or you just
Not yet. Just living the dream.
Living the dream. Moving to fabulous LA, where you can see the childhood home of 1990s Captain America in Redondo Beach. But sir, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for
If
having
you come
me.
back in town, please come back again and do another one with us.
I'll have to.
All right, Sam, Marcus. Yes, let's give everybody a mighty Captain America thumbs up. For Bad Movie Drinking Game, I'm Kurt. Thank you very much for joining us.
Look at what's happened to me. I can't believe it myself. Suddenly I'm up on top of the world. It should have been somebody else. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. I never thought I could feel so free. Flying away on a wing and a prayer. Who could it be? Believe it or not, it's just me.
Give the audience a shot of your shield. This shield is pretty impressive. This is a much better quality than any of the shields I've seen on film until the Joe Johnson movie. This is very metallic.
Yeah, people would come up to me in bars, like, because I would wear this for Halloween, you know, 4th of July, Tuesday, whatever. People would just come up to me and, like, strike it and harm themselves.
Let me just get one.
Yeah, they're all just like, oh, it's a plastic shield, I'm gonna break it, and then they hurt themselves, and it's just justice.